to know the artist behind the epic melodies, songs, and beats. Celebrating the best new music from around the world. This is the A State of Trance podcast.
Hey, what's up? My name is Ruben Ronde and welcome to a new podcast. And today we're joined by a lot of people. Normally there's only one person that I'm talking to, so it's a little bit less chaotic than it's gonna be today, I think. Because in the studio today, Superstrings.
Hey.
How you doing, guys?
Good, thank you.
Good. Already getting used to being interviewed and being together more than just behind a DJ booth in a different environment.
Yeah, getting used to the interviews, yes. Getting used to being together all the time. That's gonna be a thing, maybe. Yeah.
It's gonna be tricky. We need to address that a little bit later as well. First of all, let's start at the beginning. A short introduction, maybe one by one. Please tell your name and what your role is in the group, maybe, and how you fell in love with dance music. It's a lot of questions in one, but maybe try to paint a picture for us.
Okay, here I go. My name is Jonathan. I'm 35 years old. And I've been listening to electronic music for quite some time. I used to listen to trance a lot, but that was during the time that I was too young to actually go to the parties.
Yeah. So we listen to CDs or something.
So mostly mixed compilation.
Mm-hmm.
So when we just started Superstrings, I dove deep in my CD collection and I found all the Sensation compilations.
Yeah.
Which still hold up, which are still very great. So it was fun to listen to.
So when you grew up, you were listening to those compilations, and that's sparked your interest into dance music,
yes,
or trance
absolutely.
music in general.
Yeah, but also electronic music in general. And after I also, got a little interest in techno and house music as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the love for trance stayed.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, Emil.
Yeah, my story is kind of similar. My name is Emil, also 35 years old. And I think my love for electronic music started a bit at the same. I can remember I was watching TV in this, I think it was House of Justice by G-Spot and DJ Jose.
Yeah.
And also I think it was that time that also Scoop Drop It was in the charts. And obviously Superstring, the Rank 1 remix. And I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old, but it really sparked my interest because it was something I never heard. But I was, just as Jonathan said, way too young to go to those parties.
Yeah.
And when I got old enough to go to those parties, then the golden era of trance was already faded away a bit. So I got more interest in house, techno, that kind of stuff. And lately we rediscovered our love for classic trance music. And here we are now.
Here we are. Next one.
Cause I'm 34.
30 something.
Yeah, 30 something. 34-year-old. And I think it's kind of the same. My love for trance started, watching MTV.
Yeah.
The crazy video clips. You also had in the Netherlands, you had TMF.
TMF, yeah. TMF, the DJs.
Yeah, trance was everywhere right then. But it faded away.
Yeah.
And a few years later, I started DJing, but I started with disco actually because it was made me really happy. That kind of music, and later on, I turned to house, other styles, but that didn't make me feel the first spark that I had with disco again.
Yeah.
And then I rediscovered trance again, and that was like, whoa. Yes.
Like, what's this?
Yes.
The euphoria.
Yeah, the euphoria.
The emotions. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. And what about you?
Maurice. I'm 32 years old, the youngest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
My love for trance music started when I was 10, I think. You had that kind of hit zones CDs.
Yes, yeah. TMF hit zones.
Yeah, TMF hit zones. Yeah. And I discovered, I think it was Traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the song I fell in love with. The years thereafter, then I started organized parties, but it was more house and disco parties.
Yeah.
And like 5-6 years ago, I rediscovered the love for trance music.
That's interesting. So, and there's the five of you. Fred is not here anymore. He was here during the mix for A State of Trance. Then Cos got swapped out for Fred. So that's, I guess, the Fred would have the same kind of story. You grew up listening to the Eurodance trance era that the big hits were on TV all the time. You were listening to it. You were before you went to bed at 8 o'clock in your pajamas. You were watching TV and you saw those videos come by, and you were like, "Wow, what is this music?" Then the popularity went down a little bit. You've ventured into different sounds, and now you rediscovered it again, right?
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so the funny thing is that you've been friends all the time, right? You're all from Nijmegen, somewhere in the east of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Pretty small place, I think.
Kind of small. Yeah.
Kind of small, that's nice.
Small place, big ambitions.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice one. I like that one.
Big things coming.
So, well, actually, that's a different story. That's how Superstrings came alive. The track itself, Superstring. I remember, it's a total different story, but this is how the podcast goes. I remember when IDT launched Sensation White, they did a marketing campaign of, I don't know, months with stickers everywhere in the Netherlands. Tell them we're coming. And then suddenly on TV, it was tell them we're coming. You would hear the riff, that da, 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 da. And that was, no one knew what it was. And suddenly there was like, bam, Sensation.
It was actually the Sensation anthem, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
of the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
So tell them we're coming.
Was that already dressed in white or not yet?
No, there was the one before. But the Dressed in White was the second edition. The first one was, I think, with Carl Cox.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, Sven
Chesto,
Veit as well. I
Sven
think.
Veit, yeah. So it was a very diverse lineup. And the second year became more trendy, I guess. Anyways, separate story. We'll get to that. Now, what I wonder, because all of you guys were venturing into different things. You were listening to different kind of music. Some of you were DJing. Some of you were organizing parties. Some of them, I don't know what you were doing. But where was the point that you were sitting together and you were like, hey, wait a minute. I discovered this CD again. I want to share this with you. I want to start DJing like this. Or I want to throw parties. Because there has to be a moment that you were all coming together and be like, okay, we need to do something with this.
Yeah, I think there was a time when artists, when they were like, when they really dared to, they tried to incorporate like a trance track in a house or a techno set. And I can remember I was thinking about, I had this, we had to play like a house techno kind of set. And I had...
is already the five of you?
No,
or?
that was with some other guys from Nijmegen. And I was the only one that had a few trance tracks on my playlist. And I tried to get it, to fit it in. And at some point I managed to squeeze in, I think it was the Dance Valley 2001 team from Ferry Costa.
Yeah.
And then I saw like the crowd really responding to it. And that's the one of the moments I thought, well, I want to play these tracks again because it gives me like, it's a nostalgic feeling, but it's also really great music.
Yeah.
And I think there was this one moment where we were sitting together with all of us. We had dinner at a friend's, and we're talking, and we were actually talking about this ambient track that was on like a Balearic kind of Ibiza compilation by DJ Harvey, I think.
Okay.
And the lead melody of that track is really trancey. It's like an arpeggio, and we were thinking this is basically a trance track, but then without the actual without the kick. And I think that was the moment that we all thought, well, this riff and this typical trancey chord progression is doing something with us. And then we started talking about those old trance classics. And then we discovered that we all had that similar love for it because we knew each other for quite some while. We never talked about trance music because we're all in house and techno and that kind of stuff. And then we discovered that we all loved it and that we should do something with that.
And how did you guys meet? Like, was it because of school or just because you were all from Nijmegen? Or
I think we were all doing something within music in Nijmegen.
Okay.
I think, for myself, I was organizing a house techno party at a small venue in Nijmegen, and Jonathan was the promoter, the booker from Doornroosje, which is like the biggest venue in Nijmegen. And so we started working together like that. And I think the other guys have a similar story.
Well, the mic is yours.
Yeah, well, I started organizing a little party called Disco Dip. I think 10 years ago or something.
It's a good name, Disco Dip.
Like
that.
Disco Dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not only disco; it's also
dip.
house. And,
to the dip right now.
For the not Dutch listener, it's like the little sparkles you put on your ice cream.
Yeah. That's also the logo.
Yeah.
A little ice cream.
Okay.
But that's I think 10 years ago. This was also the time.
So you were all working in dance music. You saw each other at events sometimes already, or that's okay.
Always in Doornroosje in Berlijn.
Yeah.
So the how do you say it? The origin of Superstrings is in Doornroosje, basically.
Yeah, I think that was like the place we all came together, and also I think the place where we did our first gig that actually was really big.
Yeah.
It started in Café de Plak.
Yeah, we started in a little basement in a cafe, like a little restaurant in Nijmegen, which has a basement. It was actually a really cool basement, and for I think it fits like 100 people. And that's when we threw the first party, and I think like, I don't know, 50, 70 friends showed up. That was like the first one, but the first actual serious party we did was in Doornroosje, yeah.
So the party in Café de Plak was just for the fun. You were like, okay, we rediscovered trance music again. We just want to, have some fun, drink some beers, and play some tunes together.
Yeah, and we also asked people to come in white, and we were wearing these fast sunglasses. So it was a bit of a joke.
Fast sunglasses, yeah.
Also because we wanted to, like, the trance music can be and is it's kind of serious in a sense.
Yeah.
And we also wanted the people to have a laugh instead of that they thought we were organizing a really serious trance party, which it was because we're really serious about the music.
Yeah.
We also wanted to keep it a bit like airy or something. Yeah. So we did like a mini sensation. So everybody had to come in white, and we were wearing the sunglasses, and we had a laser and So it was like a little bit of a team party like that, But the reaction of the crowd that made it special, and made us realize that there should be more of this instead of just one themed party as you would throw a house party with a 90s theme. This was like a little French party with a trance theme, but we noticed that it was more than that.
Yeah, but it was also, you saw so many serious DJs flirting with trance, but no one dared to take the step to organize or to play a full trance set. Nobody did that. They only flirted with it.
Yeah.
And then you saw like a new remix of Simulated Marco V that went off also.
Yeah.
And we thought, we had to do this. We had to. The moment and the time is now. If trance is coming back, it's coming back now.
Yeah.
Let's put it in. Let's put a serious trance party in Nijmegen, in Doornroosje. See how it went. See how it goes. So thank you very much.
Was the first party in Café Plak? Plak sounds Plak. Was that already called Superstrings, or was it called something else?
No, I think it was.
That was Superstrings straight away.
A journey into trance or something like that. We call it as the subtitle.
The upstairs area was open as well. We named that area the Café Del Mar area.
Okay, interesting.
So,
because it was actually in a cafe. So
The Café de Plak hosts a trance party and Café Del Mar in one. Okay. All right. So you found out that a party in Café de Plak. The more you say, the more funny it gets.
Café de Sticky in English.
Café de Sticky.
It became a success, and then you were like, okay, let's take it to the next level. You were the promoter in Doornroosje at that time, I guess.
Yeah, still am.
Still am, and you were like, okay, I dare to do this, because I guess it's a risk that you take, because in all respect, in general, the trance parties in the Netherlands are quite, what you say, it's serious parties. Like people, the crowd is quite old. We'll get to that later on as well, and it's a hard market to please. So you dare to take the step and take your event and your concept to Doornroosje.
Yeah, we played actually a couple gigs after Café de Plak. And before,
at the Vierdaagse?
Yeah, we played the Vierdaagse. And there was this one time, there was one weekend when during Corona we were allowed to dance. We were allowed to throw parties.
With the barcodes and whatnot,
Yeah.
Dansen met Jansen.
So Dansen met Jansen.
Yeah, oh my God.
And as Doornroosje, we organized like a big party with only local artists.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the guys, and we decided to slip a slot for Superstrings in.
Yeah.
So we played that one, and the reaction we got there was so amazing, and there were only young people.
Yeah.
It was insane. We played the DJ Tauger remix of Ayla,
Yeah.
and the crowd was full of young people.
Like,
which exactly. I think the track is from '93 or something,
Yeah.
and there were actually people climbing on the stage, and like when the drop hit, and I think it has a bit of like a double drop in that track, so people were trying to do a sit down, it didn't work, and then people were climbing the stage. It was like a total mess, and
because people came out of captivity for 1.5-2 years, and it's just the first party that they came.
And there was so much euphoria.
And trance is so euphoric,
much
and it's so positive
Yeah.
instead of maybe like the hard techno they were used to listen to. But it's also fast because we play at like 145 BPM, like it was done at the late 90s.
Yeah.
So there was so much energy and so much euphoria and positivity that it was goosebumps all over.
Yeah, and afterwards we felt like, well, let's just give this a try.
Yeah.
Let's try it for real.
Because you saw the reaction during the shows that you did after Corona, you were like, okay.
Yeah, what's the worst thing can happen?
If people love this for an hour, why don't they love it for a whole night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you approach that first night then? Was it like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're just gonna play ourselves? So I guess from open to close, something like that?
No, well, actually we asked a couple younger DJs who were doing well in the scene as well to support us. So we had 2 support slots for it. Well, and we decided upon a theme. We made an artwork, all the classic stuff, and we just went on sale. It took a while, the first one. It was exciting as well. So we started.
Nerve-wracking.
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah, we started the Instagram, and we were just, I don't know, and looking for our voice as well in marketing. But it went well, and eventually it sold out like a week before, 2 weeks before, something like that. And the night itself was crazy. I mean, people actually came to hear these sounds. So that was different than the parties we played before, where you just go to a party and when there's trance, there's nights. But people actually came for us and for the trance, and that was a great to see that it actually worked. And people went crazy.
Okay, so the first night was over, and then you were like, okay, what the hell happened here?
Yeah. And then we got some videos that we put online, and I remember that we were playing Shivers by Armin at some point, and we got DMs on Instagram of people asking what track is this.
You're like,
so we were like, if you don't know this track, then you probably don't know anything, but you still love it.
Yeah.
So it's not. Then we realized that it's not only about the nostalgic factor. It's also about that it's just great music.
Just don't know it. Yeah,
and they just don't know it, and
yeah.
it's good tunes. So that, in combination with the fact that so many people, I think 500 or something was the first one, showed up. You thought this is like we found something. This is really unique.
Yeah, but you have 2 groups, because you have the one group that don't
knows
even
them all? Yeah.
that don't even know the classics.
Yeah.
And you have the other group that DMs us the week before. Can you maybe play this tune? Can you maybe play that tune? I haven't heard that one in a while.
That must be so weird to just go to a party. You're like 20 years old. You would hear a track like, let's say, Flight 643. You would hear it for the first time ever.
Yeah. Whoa.
How much money would I pay right now just to have that?
It gives me goosebumps right now.
That you're on dance floor and like, holy shit, that's Lethal Industry. I've never heard this in my whole life.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah. So how long did you play in the first night? How many hours? Because you said there's 2 slots and you fill a whole night.
Yeah, I think 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
like
3.
We did. We also played at some other event in Nijmegen where we accidentally mistaked our starting time. So we walked to the DJ that was before us, and we said, "I think we have to play now." And he was like, "Oh, okay, then I stop now." And I think it was like 1 o'clock, and after that we heard that we only had to start from 3 o'clock. So we start playing at 1
till 6 or something,
and we had to play till 6, 6:30. So yeah, at some point we were out of classics, so we start playing them again, and it still worked. Yeah.
Oh my god, I would have loved to see that. All right, so help me out here, because you guys are with 5. I've played back-to-back sets in my life, and that already becomes a little bit boring when you're sometimes you mix a tune and the other one is queuing it up. Classics are a little bit longer. What are you doing during a set? What is your role, for example, for you, Marius?
I'm also playing, so most of the time I'm just looking for the good track after the track Emil or Gus is playing.
Yeah.
And for the rest, I just fully enjoy the moment. So and time flies by, in a second. And I don't know what I'm doing.
We're quite discussing the music during our set.
But in the beginning, but now it's going with the flow, So you're
sometimes
playing a track,
because you sometimes. Yeah, we're now used to that the crowd gives us the reaction we want.
Yeah.
But at some moments, the crowd also, you go a little bit deeper with trance because we don't play all the time classics anymore. We also play the forgotten or the
B-sides.
Yeah, the B-sides.
Still the old ones, but the lesser known.
Yeah, the lesser known ones.
Yeah. So
the gems.
But you want
the real gems.
You want the moments of super hands in the air.
You mean we were at some point we have to look at each other and say, all right, we're going a bit deeper now. We have to build towards like a more climax moment. So we're discussing it in the set what the next step would be.
You would correct the other guys from, maybe we shouldn't do this one right now. We should do this one.
Maybe. Because we know each other for so long, it goes quite. We're not really having discussions. It's more that we just trust the process.
But sometimes you see a classic popping up, but somebody screaming, no.
Not yet. But because we were at 5, so there's constant energy in the DJ booth, and I think that is something that people in the crowd like as well. That is when the drop kicks, we're jumping with 5 of us.
Yeah.
Which I think brings nice energy in the crowd as well. So it's and then. Well, Jonathan's our MC, so maybe he can tell us a bit more about what goes on in his mind during a set.
But
now I would like to know because I know how hard it is to prepare a set if you're a back-to-back artist. How do you do it with if you're 5 guys and let's say at a state? I don't know how long you're going to play at A State of Trance, for example. Does each bring in 2 tunes, or is it something that you decide as a collective? Like, okay. But you have to make sure that this one is in or this one is in. How does a preparation like that goes about?
It's funny because we don't have that within our own sets. Yeah, we prepare like shows.
Yeah,
because you have this limited time. But in our shows, like Emil gives the original trance.
Yeah,
from the golden era. He's really good in that. He has all those classics and forgotten classics, and he plays them on the right time. Maurice is more the deeper and sometimes hard trance kind of guy, and I play a little bit sometimes
garage, dubstep.
A little bit like I once downloaded the Scooter track and everybody was like crying.
But then crying in the wrong sense.
And
to be honest, Messiah or something that's
But I'm sometimes a little bit more the wrong side.
You go to the cheese.
Yeah, I'm going the cheese, but stay in. But sometimes a cheesy track within the set works super good. So we have the different kind of angles. So we before a set, we say like where did we start with, and then it flows off immediately.
Yeah, and at some point, this is the right time to pull off something that maybe is a bit on the edge, and then Cas throws something in, and we were like, oh no, what's going to happen now? And most of the time it works, but it also depends on the kind of gig. If we know, like for ASOT, for instance, then it will be more solely the trance we feel is right at that moment, but still, it's the chemistry is good. Like Cas says, he's the one who dares to play something we would overthink it, and he just does it, and
I can imagine if a dance floor is packed, or you would play at Nijmegen at the Vierdaagse, which is a massive event in Nijmegen where people are walking 50 kilometers a day, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And there's after parties, and I can imagine if you would throw in Scoop, drop it will go off or something.
It will
go
off.
But that's something that you wouldn't do let's say on a more serious event or something like that.
No. And Scoop, we closed it already.
Yes. The chapter Scoop is closed.
It's closed already.
And sometimes if you play a track like that like all the time, then the magic fades away. But for yourself as well. So then we stuff it away, and then we pick other classic tracks.
Yeah, because I was looking at some of your track lists from the past. You play different sets all the time. It's not like some people play classic trance and they only would play Out of the Blue or Shivers or only the massive ones. You also pick and choose tracks also in the guest mix for A State of Trance that are lesser known.
Yeah. That keeps it fun for ourselves, I think. And also because we noticed after a few parties that people aren't just about the classics they know, but they also like to discover new stuff. So we try to keep the balance. So we were discussing the set for ASA today, and we were like, okay, we want to do some stuff that maybe surprises people or that they think of, oh, I haven't heard this for a while. But also throw in like the one or two like more obvious tracks. So yeah, we try to balance it out a bit. And the thing is, if you play like sets of 3-4 hours, you have the time to build up and to go down again and to go deeper and then do like 15 minutes of big hits and then do some harder stuff as well. Because that's also something we love to do, like the Scott project kind of hard trance, which is still really melodic but you can do that if you have a long slot. And since you with 3, it's also not that exhausting to play long sets because you're with 3 people that are DJing. So
correct me if I'm wrong. With the conversation that we're having right now, I feel it's a group of 5 friends just playing music to each other, having fun, and the crowd is there just, by accident almost. That you are just having fun by yourselves and just enjoying the music because you're discussing the tunes while you're playing it also. And dancing. And that's at least also what I see on Instagram or whatever. The clips that you post, it's mayhem.
Yeah, I think it's if we don't have fun, then people will see that.
100%. If you stand still with the 5 of you next to each other and just wait for your turn to.
But
mix
it also has to be in balance because I think at one show we made a bit of a fault or maybe made a little bit step back because we want to surprise each other all the time. So you're looking for new music, and we did one show
prove each other.
we
did a lot of new music to surprise each other.
Yeah.
But we surprised the crowd.
The crowd was gone. You were there was no one there anymore.
We surprised the crowd with that too. Like, they also expect some euphoric moments.
Of course,
and that wasn't necessary.
It was still a good night. And people stayed, but afterwards we got a few DMs of of people that say, "Well, I expected a bit more of those
emotions.
Familiar." Well, I think there were emotions, but the more familiar emotions, I think. So it's also a constant learning process, but that also keeps it fun.
Yeah, well, definitely, I can agree with you. And there's also 2 main things that surround you guys besides the classics, the music. First of all, show your emotions. So I wouldn't be surprised that in a few years from now you'll see people with a show your emotions tattoo or something like that. And of course, Johnny the Dolphin. Tell us about Johnny the Dolphin. Because I see, for example, I'm seeing Maurice right now with a T-shirt with the dolphin. With the snelle plangers.
we get a lot of questions on the dolphin, but it was just something that I designed the artworks for our parties mostly, and we just needed something for our first party to like a mascot or something funny.
Yeah.
That would capture that feeling. And then we were looking at old rave and trance flyers, and especially in the 90s there was this time when people used dolphins on artworks. I don't know why, but it was just it was a thing, I guess. And I thought, just put on a dolphin. And then I was like, okay, we need something that's really trancey. And one of the things that when I was young, like intrigued me the most was this green bright laser. So that there should be something neon.
Trance energy would be like one laser.
Yeah,
that's it, and it will go on, and people will lose their minds.
So we have to capture that as well. So okay, make it neon green.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're looking at old press pics of trance DJs from back in the days, and they were all wearing these like small sports glasses as well. So let's give him sunglasses. And it just went off from there, and then it became a thing, and it never went away, basically.
I see all these press pictures in front of me right now. I remember when, in the beginning of A State of Trance, we had our future favorite voting. We have it on Discord right now, but it used to be on trance.nu, which was a massive forum online. And the voting was on there. And I remember one of the pictures that was there on the voting was a picture of Armin also with one of these sunglasses somewhere probably in Ibiza with a record bag standing like this. I'm like, these shoots were so good. They were always having headphones on their heads while being in nature. Like, what are you doing? Why do you have your record bag with you right now? It was also this massive UDG bag with the weirdest colors. And anyways, fantastic times.
Yeah, there's this. I think Armin had this mix series. One was called Transparence, and one was called In Motion, I think.
Yeah.
One of those two, or someone else in that series. He was also wearing these really small, like sunglasses. He looked like Neo from the Matrix. You know?
Take the blue pill.
Posted that on Instagram. Also.
Yeah. We also did a post on that on these also. But for us, that breeds that time. So that hence the sunglasses.
Some proper nostalgia, parachute pants and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Johnny, is it going to be more merch? Because I saw a couple of questions coming in from. Lot Gering. When is the new merch dropping? I would love to see some more Johnny the Dolphin merch.
Yeah, we're working on a web shop now. Trying to first we delivered them ourselves, and because we were still only doing Nijmegen shows, but since it's getting a bit bigger now, we're working on an actual web shop with some new scarves coming in, some new T-shirts, and we'll try to come up with some new special items for the summer as well.
For the summer, like, are you thinking about sunglasses or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe
that's a good one.
Neon,
I'll take 10%.
green swimming pants. I don't know. Yeah, we can do a lot of things. Yeah.
Some flip flops. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into some of the questions that were there already. There's a lot of people already asking for you abroad. Gabriel Arenzo wants to know when you're coming to Argentina. Well, there you go. Well, you get booked. So there's a problem. 5 people on a flight. That's going to be costly.
That's a really big.
Did you already think about that? Like, what is going to happen now? For example, if someone in Australia wants to book Superstrings,
well, then they have to put 5 guys on a plane.
There's no concession. There's not going to be 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. You just don't know that.
Yeah, we could do it with less people, obviously, but maybe it takes away the magic a bit. We did shows when someone was ill or whatever, because the show must go on, and why not be with 4 if one falls away? But yeah, it's something we should think about. Yeah, we're actually talking with our booking agency, and they would try to look abroad, but then it would be maybe something that's more close to home, so we can go by train or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that saves a bit in the cost. But yeah, if someone in Australia wants to book us, then I think we can.
Okay.
Maybe
on a plane.
Yeah, maybe we should just throw a coin and decide who can go.
I guess you're right. It must be and maybe it would make more sense to take the whole concept and throw parties and bring Johnny and hang him like Afterlife, right?
Yeah.
That's the way to go, I guess.
That's what people asked us if it was like a joke on Afterlife, because they have this human hanging. We have the dolphin, but it's just a coincidence.
I think it's great though. Put some lasers
Copy
on
it from us, huh?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to do like a proper phone call.
If you're listening, guys.
Trancyclopedia wants to know, what is your absolute favorite classic? So, each of you just pick one and decide. Okay, this is the one. So what you want?
The first track that popped out of my head is Darren Tate.
That last channel.
See the Light.
See the Light.
The one I played in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's such a great track. Very much emotions in it. And,
emotions. Yes.
No, yeah, it's just great.
For me, it's Robert Miles' Children.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super it's super classic, but.
Yeah. Was one of the tunes that started it all, right?
Yeah.
At least melodic, dreamy. They probably called it Dream House or something like that.
Yeah, Dream House.
Yeah,
but it's also a kind of a track that if you never, and we all didn't play trance.
Yeah,
because if you heard that track, but you couldn't imagine playing it, and now we played it.
Yeah,
and it's like it feels magical. Yeah,
that's awesome. Love that. Yes, Emil.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one to pick, but I think rank 1, Such Is Life, and Suburban Train by Chesto have a special place in my heart.
Those are definitely 2 massive ones. Jonathan.
Another pretty classic one. It's rank 1, Airwave.
Okay.
It can't go wrong. It still gives me goosebumps when I listen to it. So good.
That's definitely feels like a Superstrings song. Rank 1 Airwave, the big pads and what's going on.
I think Fred is too bad that Fred isn't here, but he once explained it perfectly. He said it's the tracks that sound like someone is having 4 hands on the keyboard. Like those pads, those strings, that's the super string kind of that's the kind of vibe, the big strings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. That's nice classics.
And your classic?
My classic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
No one ever asked me that in an interview like this. I think one of mine would be ATN Miss a Day. I don't know if you know that guy, that one. And James Holden Horizons.
Oh yeah.
Those are 2 tracks those were the first ones that pop into my head. But there's so many of them. So
Horizons is also really good. In the time that James Holden still was making like really trancey music.
Yeah.
I tried to like play A Break in the Clouds in our set once, but because we play 145 BPM, it's quite.
You played it on 145?
No, I got it out again because it's too speed up. It's too speed up. But it is also one of those tracks that really it really has that Superstrings feeling because it's also a big emotional trance anthem in a way, but it's too slow, unfortunately.
That's one hell of a tune, also 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I already spoke about this in the episode as well because you play classics, but that's kind of shifting also because you guys are also producing your own music now. With the first release that was actually your first release ever was on A State of Trance on our label, a remix of Sound Piercing by Prototype, which is an alias of the director of Armada, Michael Pyron. Is there more music coming up? And I also want to know kind of, because it's not an obvious classic to remix, how did you guys come up with that, doing that one?
I think we had
a lot of questions, but
we had a chat with Michael because he said, "I want you guys to do a release on the label because it's so cool what you guys are doing."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Well, we were overwhelmed. Of course, we want to do it. Of course, but we didn't want to do an obvious classic. Because we don't dare to touch it. We're not on a level as, for instance, you or Armin would be to do something with a track like that." So we were like, okay, we're not gonna do an obvious classic, and we also find it really funny to do a track that was actually produced by Michael.
Yeah,
and we really love the track, and we thought we can spice it up a bit, but still maintain that classic '90s trance feeling. Just make the strings a bit thicker and make it a bit longer and the break more epic. And I think we can work with that. So yeah, that's basically how that one came along, and there might be more coming up.
Might be. What's going to happen? Might be, you know.
Maybe we have to do a new motto: big strings coming.
Big strings coming, yeah. Yeah, Toros wants to know, will we expect any Superstrings original tracks in the future or just remixes? Is it going to be, the next one is going to be a remix or it's going to be an original song?
No, it's going to be a remix. And I think, I don't know, because we play old classics, it kind of makes sense to revive old classics but then remix it in the way it was produced in that time.
Yeah.
So there's just certain things and how you can distinguish an old track from a new track. I think the way it was produced, which hardware was used, stuff like that. If we would produce something new, I don't know. Yeah, maybe in the future, but for now, it's more about the homage to the old ones that we want to do.
But you see, a lot of artists are actually also producing new music in the older style. There's guys like Martin Hofstad, for example, that's bringing in old elements, just making a lot more fatter than it used to be in the past. So I guess you can do original tracks in that sound also, right?
Yeah, maybe
we can do it.
We should hop in the studio downstairs.
Well, there you go. Easy does it.
Yeah.
What kind of Andrew Dickons wants to know, what type of set do you have planned for State of Trance? Looking forward to see you guys. Are you already preparing it, or is it something that is still on the?
I think sometimes when you go to your playlist, for instance, when we were selecting tracks for this set, then you see a track and then you like imagine.
I need to play this one.
Yeah, you imagine that hall and that event, and then for me at least it works like that. And then I hear that track and I think I have to play it there. It goes a bit like.
And you end up with 50 tracks.
Yeah,
like,
and then you have to.
What am I gonna do now?
That's the fun part, and then you have to bring it back to. I don't know how long we were playing. 2 hours. So,
2 hours.
Yeah. But normally we just go along and then pick tracks, and then a few days before the event we come together and then we decide a bit for what we're gonna do. But it still will be a long list, and then on the spot you can also decide, because then you know what the energy in the crowd is and what people would like to hear at that moment. At least you try to tell that if you can tell that. But
no scooter.
And sometimes the
Scooter and a scoop.
sometimes the DJ before you plays in this kind of groove that you also want to build forward on that.
Yeah.
So we had that a few times that they play. We had one DJ that played hardstyle before us. Yeah, what do you do then?
I can write a book about that. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
No, but I think it's ASOT, so we're gonna play a lot of known and lesser known classics, which we think that we would love to hear when we go to ASOT. So
I think the best thing you can do is just you do you. That's because you guys are booked because of what you're doing. So I don't think you need to adjust 100% to us. We need to, at least that's how I see it. There's actually a lot of questions about the merchandise, but the shop is coming. Oscar Anjuna also wants to know, is there any way I can get Superstrings scarf or t-shirt? Well, the web shop is coming. Where can we find that? Is it going to be on the website or?
On Instagram.
Showyouremotions.nl.
Yeah.
Showyouremotions.nl. Oh my God.
I think
it's so bad that it's becoming so good.
I think superstrings.com was already occupied, right?
Yeah, there's probably something else then. Maybe less, how do you say it, under 18 years old. Kind of things. All right, guys. 23rd of February, we'll see Superstrings at the State of Trance in Ahoy in Rotterdam. I can't wait. I'm going to be there front row for sure, because I just love that feeling of nostalgia. And also, what I enjoyed a lot about the set that you were playing here in the studios, that I was really like, what's coming next? Oh, what's coming? Oh, that's that one. That's that one. And I guess a lot of people are going to have the same, besides the people that are there for the first time and have no idea what that classic is.
Yeah.
That must be a fantastic feeling. No, it must be a fantastic emotion. Because we're about emotions today. Guys, thank you so much for joining us also on air. I'm looking forward to see a lot more of you, a lot more music, I hope.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we'll see you next time for a new State of Trance podcast. See ya. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Check all previous episodes on YouTube or your favorite podcast portal.